Hey everyone. So, as you all know, I may have touched on the topic of understanding in a lot of my videos, and just the process that I have been through, with the whole therapy issues, and you've heard what I went through in the past regarding rejection and issues of self worth. But this topic of understanding can really benefit us in our own walks with Jesus. And I want to get into, this topic a lot more, and maybe it will really benefit you in your walk, and because when we are born into this world, sorry, I got interrupted, but really what I want this video to do is I want it to benefit you in your walk, for us to have a different, outlook and aspect that we can turn to rather than the hurtful lens that we have grown accustomed to. I mean, I believe that a lot of our hurts come as children because we receive a lot of hurts then by people who themselves have been hurt. And so, with me, I'll get into this soon as well, but I'll touch briefly on it, is the fact that with my own hurts in my own life, you know, I had a negative perception of the world around me. I thought everyone treated me with rejection and no one liked me, and that was the root cause of my issues. So, with the whole healing aspect, um, it has really definitely changed the way I see things. So, like I said, the topic of this video is understanding. And like I already said, I used to be a bitter person. I could see someone's facial expressions and maybe they're looking in my direction. And so I would see that, and through my own hurt, I would take what they say wrong or the way they look wrong. And so I would run with their facial expression. Oh, maybe they're angry with me. What did I do? I didn't do nothing wrong. So maybe I would become, bitter with that aspect and I wouldn't bother talking with them. And so I would let resentment build, or it could have been something that they said. I mean, from their own, point of view, it could have been completely innocent. Maybe it was a critique. And so I took it from a place of rejection and I took it completely wrong and I ran with it. And all the while becoming bitter until, God helped me, deal with that bitterness. But like I had said, with my own hurt in my own life, a lens of rejection over my eyes began to take place, and I saw the whole world through a place of rejection. Everyone's rejecting me. No one likes me. And so, with me being in therapy, it's what they call the core beliefs, what we really believe about ourselves. And so, my therapist at that time, when I first began, they were talking about core beliefs, and they gave me um, a worksheet online, and I saw the questions that it asked me. It asked me about, what I believed about myself. Why do I believe that? What are the other possible solutions other than the hurt that I was seeing? So I took each of those examples and I typed, the documents separately so that I could answer those questions. And I was starting to think of other plausible explanations other than the hurt that I believed about myself. And so, I don't know, for example, you know, I could say that I don't like myself because I'm unattractive. And so everyone thinks I'm unattractive, so I won't bother talking with any of those in the opposite sex. Because why bother? If the whole world thinks, I'm not worthy to be with, then why bother? So that was a core belief I believed in myself. I don't know where it came from, somewhere rooted in my past. So I came up with other plausible explanations with the help of the therapist. And, with these core beliefs, I had to reanalyze and reassess the issues of my past. What other plausible explanations could there be by what somebody said or done in which I took the wrong way? So I came up with those other plausible explanations through understanding. You know, for example, you know, with the whole hospital stay, when I had my asthma issues and, when I was 14 years old, we were staying with my elderly aunt. She couldn't clean her place like I'm sure she wanted to and it was dusty. I was allergic to dust. So that sent me into the hospital for a week. And so I was already operating through rejection, and I would take what my family said the wrong way. I would take their actions the wrong way. And so here I'm in the hospital room all day by myself alone. And all these, you know, rejection, all these thoughts of rejection came in my mind, and I was letting the enemy come in, even though I didn't know it was him at that time. He was saying all this negative stuff to me, and the more I listened to it, the angrier I got, until I got to the place of I don't want to see them, even though the root cause of my issue was I wanted to be affirmed. I wanted my mother and my sister to tell me that they loved me and that they didn't forget about me. That's was the root cause of my problem. And they didn't come and see me, and they didn't reaffirm their love. Well, they came to see me, but they didn't reaffirm their love for me. That's what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to tell me that we love you, and we were busy, but we were thinking about you. That's all I wanted them to say, but they didn't say it. So I behaved through that place of rejection, and I ran with that hurt. So with a core belief, I believed about myself that I was not worthy to be loved. And so I ran with that lie. So having to reanalyze that situation, I had to do so with other plausible explanations. Why didn't they come and see me? Well, they were working. That was a way of countering that lie. And I didn't have the tools, like I said in another video at that time, to come against that. So I had to reassess through therapy these past issues so that I can think in a whole new way. So I came up with plausible explanations regarding how I was feeling. I had to go through every belief about myself. I'm unattractive. Well, is that really true? First of all, God doesn't make junk, you know, and even though somebody may find you or me unattractive, that's not everyone. Everyone's different. Everyone has the right to be attracted to who they are attracted to. No one can tell them any different because they know who they are attracted to. I know who I'm attracted to. So we have the different feelings regarding that. But it doesn't make us a bad person because of who we are attracted to. I may not be attracted to a lot of people, you know, a lot of people may not be attracted to me, and that's okay. So, coming against my worth with those plausible explanations, really brought the healing in my own life. And so, I had to do that with every belief about myself. And so, I think with me coming against every belief about myself, God brought healing in my heart through my past issues. And so regarding understanding, the way I see things now, I don't have that negative perception I did. I mean, I used to be bitter, I used to be resentful, and I would always ask God for forgiveness. God, please forgive me for this bitterness. But it was healing that needed to happen in my own life. So, with me being understanding regarding situations, I don't take things at face value anymore. If somebody says something wrong, like it could be at work, if someone is critiquing my work in the past, I would take it personally. Now, I would look at it from their perspective, or somebody may have a bad facial expression. I'm not going to take it personally. I'll be like, okay, maybe there's something going on in their life. I'll pray for them. So with us being understanding, this is an aspect of God. Why does it say in scripture that God is slow to understanding? God understands what we're going through in our life. He understood, you know, when he walked on earth, he understood people's plights. He understood where they went through. He understood the Samaritans. That's why he created the Good Samaritan, because he understood people. He understood what they went through. He understood why the Jews called them dogs, even though he didn't like that. You know, he loved people, and that's why you know so many people were changed, just because Jesus was wise in understanding. And so with us being understanding, it makes us slow to anger regarding what people say and what people do. If people are acting in a certain way, in the past you may have taken it personally, but through working on your past hurts, you start saying, okay, what's going on in their life in which, they're acting like that? Or let's say you have somebody that's acting in a certain way that's negative, you know, we could take it personally. But, you know, when we take a step back, we can ask ourselves, what have they been through in their life in which they are acting that way? You know, and when we actually do that, I believe it's another aspect of love, to where we're truly loving someone, because we can understand where they're coming from. We can understand how they're behaving. And, we can be used by God to help them. So, I really pray that this video has helped you. Maybe it showed you an aspect in your own life that, you know, maybe God is trying to touch. Maybe he's trying to bring healing to your own life, healing you of your past wounds, so that you can take the current lens you have on that's hurt, take it off, and put a new one on that's from a place of love and understanding. So I pray this video has blessed you. Thank you for taking the time to watch.